I'm Emma Hendy. I work at Upper Row Farm. I'm the full-time farm manager. We've got breeding sheep and we raise Aberdeen Angus cattle here. I've been running the farm for about 14 years, but I'm actually the 4th generation to be farming here in my family, so no pressure on me to keep it going. It's hard work, long days, it's highs and lows. It's the best job in the world and it's the worst job in the world. We've gone back into more sheep and livestock based rather than arable. My dad had a lot of arable land and I've changed that to having cattle and sheep back on the farm.
I'm Joshua Gay. I'm 4th generation farmer here at Newton Farm. We run a modern mixed farming system using old-fashioned and modern techniques to reduce chemicals and reliance on fertiliser whilst working with nature, but remaining profitable, we hope. I never work a day because I love what I do. Yeah, there's days where I'd rather sit inside and type at a computer, but I do it for an hour and I'm still bored. I'd rather go back out in the rain. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily fully taken over. It's been a nice transition. I'm very lucky that he has let me take the control that I've got. Most farmers wouldn't get that opportunity, especially so young in their life. So 6 years in, changed ram breed 5 times, still not 100% set. But the beauty is that with a blank slate, I've got no preconceptions about what I can and can't do. And very much will go against the grain and say, well, I'm going to try it, see if I can do it. Sometimes I'm right, most of the time I'm wrong. But if you're not failing, you're not learning. Not all practices we do here are working and will work everywhere. But I'm not one for other people to tell me that I can or can't do something just because they think you can't. I'm one to try it and prove it for myself first. If you don't try it, you'll never know. And curiosity killed the cat.
Sustainable farming is a huge issue and it's a massive term. To be sustainable can mean so many different things to different people. To me, it means that the farm has to be sustainable in being financially sustainable. The farm has to keep going. We have to have farming and agriculture in the UK because otherwise we can't produce food. However, in doing that, we need to make sure that we're sustainable from an environmental point of view as well. So we have to find a way of balancing food production and the environment. I think it's really important that we're sustainable in the fact that we need to pass on these things to the next generation. So education, inviting people onto the farm, helping people understand what farming is about is a huge thing and a huge way to keep the farm sustainable. The climate is a massive impact on the farm, or has a massive impact on the farm. So we had a drought 2 years ago, which meant that we decided not to put all our sheep into lamb because there was no grass. So we were actually making hay and silage and pretty much feeding it straight to the sheep to get them through the summer. And then we would have to feed those animals extra meal which is brought in, which costs a lot of money. So that drought cost us a lot financially. This year has been the exact opposite and we've had the most rain in 18 months. Whilst we've got grass in the fields, I've not been able to put the lambs out in them because it's too muddy. So you have to constantly be juggling the weather with the farming, with where the animals are.
And that camera guided hoe is matched to pair with my drill. It can only hoe behind the 6 meter drill running my system, my width. So what it's doing is it's cultivating between the row, it's taking out the weeds, it's mineralizing the available nitrogen because it's breaking up that winter pan that we've had from all that rain over winter. So it's allowing the soil to breathe again without disturbing it too much. It also has the benefit of that seeder, that big white box on the back, allows us to sow another crop in with it. My rotation lengths are a minimum of 3 years. I can't grow just wheat, or even just wheat and barley. Wheat's my cash crop, so I'll come back to that every time. The others don't really make money.
Cost of living crisis has hit us because people can't afford to pay as much for our produce, which is the lamb and the beef. It also means things like feed prices and fertiliser prices have increased a lot. So we have to always be thinking 12, 18 months ahead to try and work out how to make ourselves be financially viable. It's not a job for somebody if you want to get rich, and it's not a job for someone if they don't like being out in all weathers at all times, but it's really rewarding. At the moment I have to have another job, my partner works full time, and there'll be a lot of farmers who have other jobs or have other incomes. I'd really like it if it was able to be that we could farm and produce food and be able to have a living wage off of that.
Farms are families, but they're businesses too. They need to make enough money for me to live, my mum and dad to live, because they don't have an income after the farm, for them to retire. It's going to be an attractive income for my children, or they won't be coming back. Sadly, that's because there's not enough money in it for us to pay attractive salaries. I wish there was. There's just not. There's barely enough for me to have a salary. But farming needs intelligent people, or it's not going to move forward.
I hope that we can keep trying to find the right balance between the environment, food production, and giving people a living wage that work on farms.
The future for farming is in our youth, and educating people that are now so disconnected from food and farming that have no idea what it takes to put into it. So farming is it's not a 1-year plan, it's barely even a 3-year plan, it's a 10-year plan. It's not for the faint-hearted, and it needs clever people to push it forward. So I hope the future is with our youth.